This episode of the Model 3 Owners Club podcast is brought to you by Doulaban Insurance. If you live in Ontario, Canada, and are looking for the best price and coverage on your Tesla, give Doulaban a call at 1-855-385-4226 or visit our website at doulabaninsurance.com/Tesla.
Just one more?
Sure. Fun.
Oh! And we're off. Started already.
Yeah.
So this is how we start?
This is how it starts.
Yeah. This is how it starts.
This is how it starts. This is how we'll end.
Well, as you can see, we've decided to do what we think is most epic Model 3 Owners Club podcast. We're in South Florida. We're on vacation. And look, we got the whole crew out tonight. Eric is with me. Ian is with me. Michael Bodner has showed up again.
Yeah.
Welcome. And our good friend, Rafael Santoni from the TesLatino and TesLatino. So make sure you subscribe to that.
Yes.
This is going to be completely unscripted. Yeah. We're just down here to have fun. We've been talking about doing this for what, at least 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we figured we'd just come down and get the gang of us all together here and have a little time and I mean, we'll talk about Tesla, of course, but I think this is going to be completely unscripted. First thing we'll probably mention is that this will be probably a long one. And second of all, there's going to be most likely some adult language. Mm-hmm. So if you have little children, probably not the best one to watch. No, not Michael. No, I'm more worried about you.
I'm good. I'm going to be fine, I promise.
Right. So you probably want to watch this on your own time, whatever, but this is going to be pretty epic.
Maybe not at the office.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll put the not safe for work label on it.
Yeah, I'll try and do that.
In the event.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We can have a safe word.
A safe word. We have to pick some kind of word that we'll bleep out or something like that. But anyways, yeah, so we're just gonna riff a little bit and talk about whatever comes to our minds. Like I said, might be some bad language. Who knows? Totally unscripted. So I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? We did Cars and Coffee a couple days ago. Maybe we should do a little recap of that.
Yeah. We can start with there.
Sure. You want to go?
Well, I want to say it was a fantastic event. I think the turnout was beyond what we could have imagined for the event. It was great weather, a lot of great cars. There were the signature wrap vehicles that were there, which were really impressive. Some custom body designs too. You know, our cars were there. We had some great photographs too. So if you haven't already checked out all of our social media stuff, you'll see it all on there.
Yeah.
The Midnight Silver Collective.
All right.
Yes.
There's you're going to see some content coming pretty soon from Michael. I know Trev's already put out 2 videos regarding the event. I know Rafael already put some content out there. Our friend Nate also put out some great stuff. So.
Shout out to Nate.
Yeah, Nate.
Thanks for coming out, Nate.
Purple Model 3.
Hashtag
Purple Model 3.
Yeah, that's
right.
So no, it was I think it was a great event. I think it was better what we could have asked for. And our thanks to MNX for hosting us and for putting out some great stuff there.
Those guys are awesome.
And, we had some Girl Scout cookies too. I mean, it was
super well organized. They on their side.
It was fantastic. Really well done.
Yeah, so lots of fun. Thanks for everybody for coming out. I don't know, is it going to be an annual thing? I don't know, we'll see.
I hope so. Next time I'll have a drone, I'll have all sorts of crazy gear, I don't know.
Spending that YouTube cash.
It's going to get bigger and better. Yeah. I did like the comments that appreciated the fact that we were wearing shorts and t-shirts, some of us. While the polar vortex is going on. Yeah.
Well, I made a point of wearing shorts because when I'm out of that cold, I live in shorts practically at home all the time. So.
I, for one, did not and lived to regret it that day.
Yeah, I offered to give him, I had like some sunscreen on. I'm like, all right, you want some sunscreen? And he's like, yeah, I'll put it on my arms and I'll start with that. And he just like hours later is like, my neck is burning. Can I put it on now? I'm like, if your neck is burning, you're done.
Do it.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because we went down to the beach today and I hate sunscreen. I hate it with a passion. I don't like the greasy feel. I'm glad that it works. But I missed a spot today, so I got burnt here on my ankle today.
That's a Canadian classic.
One spot I missed is right down here. And
where's your gimbal for the zoom in on that? I mean,
yeah, we should have. We'll cut that in later. We'll get you a close up of it.
So I got some aloe vera back at the house. I might have to apply some of that. It rubs the lotion on the skin.
Put the lotion in the basket.
That's right. Yeah. So Cars and Coffee was really cool. Did anybody got a car count outside the compound?
I did.
How many?
102.
Are you kidding me?
I counted 102, but that didn't count like people that came and went. You know, like people.
There's probably
stayed for-
more.
I thought it was
Yeah.
about 80, but
No, I have it on the video. Like I counted on the video.
so
Yeah.
that I would say that's probably very close to the count that I had when I did back in June 16th in Toronto. We had about 300 people come out and about 100 cars. You know, that's a rough number, so it's about equivalent. That's awesome. I mean, think about it. Like literally a year ago, was it today or yesterday?
It was a year ago yesterday.
A year ago yesterday, we did Cars and Coffee, and we had 3, maybe 4 Model 3s. And remember how pandemonium was, like everybody, like nobody had seen the car,
Right.
Right? And
Here
here we
we
are.
There was
like-
Roger's car.
Yes.
That was the one. There was a Model X there.
yeah, that was theirs.
There was an also. I think there was the other. I think it was only about.
There was
3
a red
3s.
Model 3.
Right. There was there
was a white one.
There was a white one.
Yeah.
And I think there was another one. I think it was about 4.
There was a
That's
no
it.
more than 4.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, the only Model 3 people have seen was just 2 or 3 days before the event. They had installed it. I think it was on the Galleria store. No,
In Boca Raton?
in Boca.
Oh,
no,
no.
no, it wasn't in Boca.
No, it was at the Aventura Mall.
No, Aventura.
Aventura Mall.
Aventura
Aventura
Mall.
Had
Right.
the first,
Yeah.
and it was Midnight Silver. I saw.
They
my
were all
car-
midnight silver
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
Bev and I had actually gone down to the mall to look at it specifically, and they said, "Oh no, they had to move it somewhere, so we missed it."
Yeah.
I wanted to go look at it again, but yeah, good times. Other than that, I mean, you know, we've just been spending some time on the beach and just kind of chilling and stuff. I know later this week on Saturday we've got big plans for the bunch of us. We're going up to the Kennedy Space Center, and we bought tickets for all kinds of stuff. So I haven't been there in over 20 years. So I'm really looking forward to it. I tried to get Tim Dodd to come down. Tim, if you're watching next time, get with the program, okay? I tried to get Tim to come down, but I think he would have been here if there had been definitely some kind of launch date and stuff. It looks like it's been pushed till March, so.
Yeah.
But we're still going to have some good content for you. We're going to bring them all our camera gear and lots of fun that ways. Any other thoughts? I mean,
We've got 3 hours in the car together, so
who
knows
there's
what's
going to be
gonna
some
happen.
mayhem for
Not
sure.
this guy.
I mean, there'll be mayhem tonight. We're going to have fun tonight, but
Yeah.
I think when we do the car thing, we got some stuff planned, so watch for that. It'll be fun. You know, 3 hours in the car with a bunch of guys, something's bound to ensue.
Sorry, Nancy.
Sorry, Nancy. Yeah, Rafael's wife, Nancy's over here in the corner. She's doing social media, I
Oh,
think, on our behalf.
Nate is going.
Yeah, Nate's coming.
Nate
Yeah,
and his daughter,
Nate's
yeah.
coming. So Purple Model 3 will be there as well.
Yeah.
and we have Brad.
And Brad Garcia's coming too.
Yep.
So by the way, I want to mention, and I forgot totally about this, Cars and Coffee. I forgot to mention, and I feel totally bad because the last time I forgot my wife, and I never heard the end of that. Sorry, dear. This time around, I forgot to say thank you to the moderators on the Model 3 Owners Club. Michael is actually one of the moderators. These guys do amazing work to keep everybody in line, to keep things nice and organized and stuff. So early days when I started, I had to do all of the content. You can imagine how much work that was. And now that people are flooding in and you know, having moderators, what I do need is I need some extra people in Europe to help us out in that time zone. So
French Mike has it. That's all right.
well, you know what? He's pretty busy. He's started another business. He's officially retired, but he's actually started a consulting business, so he has a little less time.
That market's about to explode.
Yeah, so if we have some
yeah.
European viewers who are familiar, who might be already on the forum, have some good context or some good posting history, whatever, that would like to help out, get in touch with me. Username's TrevP on the forum. Let me know, and then maybe we can set you up, because I would really like to have maybe 1 or 2 moderators on the European side of the time scale, time zones, I should say, to help out with that. You know, we were talking about that today, that we need some help in that.
Especially now that they're getting deliveries this week.
Precisely.
Yeah, literally, they're
Yeah,
offloading the boats right
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
over
that's
in
gonna
Europe,
blow up,
so,
for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, we're going to need that for sure. Anything else you want to talk about, or? Oh,
Wow.
wow!
Can't
Really?
believe that
Are
happened.
you kidding me?
No way.
Really?
We've just had a power failure.
The question is it our gear or is it the whole neighborhood?
No, it's I don't know.
It
The house is without power. That's for sure.
No, that's
This is footage money can't buy.
This is unprecedented podcast material right
I
here.
don't remember when there was a blackout here. Like,
It's not hurricane season.
Wow.
The good thing about cameras, battery backup.
Yeah, they're still
They're
going.
still rolling.
All right.
Here
There you
we're
go.
back. I think we're back. We just had a power
Yeah.
failure.
Yeah. That was
This is
special.
what happens when you're charging 8 Teslas at the same exact time in one house.
I think Elon was mad at us and flipped the switch somehow.
That's right. Or it's Magneto outside just screwing with us. He does that sometimes.
Oh, you know what?
He does that whole EMF thing, right?
That reminds me. I wanted you to maybe take a couple minutes and just talk about your epic drive down.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of a thing. So, yeah, when Trev pitched this crazy idea about going to the Cars and Coffee, he said, like, you know, you should come down for this. And I thought, well, I do have lifetime free supercharging. This would be an excellent chance to abuse that privilege. So I did. And it wound up being a solo venture. My dearest at home, Brigitte, said, this looks like a really Tesla geeky kind of thing, and I'm going to let you do this one, which I think was probably the right decision, given the context of what we're doing. So thank you, dear. I appreciate that. And I decided to venture off on my own. And I have to say, this is a trip I've done many times. I've been coming to Florida, driving down many, many times. We do family trips down here all the time. And I was really looking forward to it. I mean, I love that trip. But going from, you know, the Mad Max version, you know, with gas where you can just refuel every 10 minutes and just keep going. I mean, we made Montreal to Cape Canaveral in 22 and a half hours many, many times. You know, just mainline.
Straight through,
yeah,
without sleeping or anything.
Well, we'd normally take a break of a couple of hours to sleep and then just keep going. But the driving time, yeah, was so. But we could still make it, you know, like middle of the afternoon of the second day. And I really was on a tight timeline. I had to leave Friday morning and be here Saturday night. And when I did the calculation based on really cold weather that was forecast and everything else, I thought I'm just barely going to make it by maybe midnight of day 2 if I had a reasonable sleep. And I'm as a solo driver, I can't handle, I really have respect for people who can go 24, 30 hours straight just with naps. I'm not one of those people. You do not want me on the road with 24 hours of no sleep. It just doesn't work.
I've done it.
You've done it, yeah. You were talking about that. And yeah,
I've done the 24-hour before.
I've done it on a motorcycle. I've done long distance motorcycle endurance rallies where I've gone 24 hours with like a 90-minute break. That's intense. But I'll tell you, on a bike, it's so like the sensation. Like, I mean, you can't. It's hard to fall asleep on a bike. I mean, it's a pretty intense experience. And a car, especially a car
with Autopilot,
right? Yeah, with a car with Autopilot, it's kind of like. I was like, I'm not going to take a chance. You know, it's way too easy. So I decided, no, I'm gonna stop halfway down. However, what I did do was I brought the same said air mattress and sleeping bag that I had from the famous Tesla campout of 2016. I just threw it in the back of the car, inflated it, and then at the supercharger stop, first one in North Carolina, I think, was at Rocky Mount. I just set up camp there, plugged the car in, charged it, and parked it.
You mentioned to me when you were done supercharging, there were 2 level 2s.
Yes. I have a sort of a moral quandary with what I did there. Let me explain and let the EV community judge. I will accept your judgment on this one. But what I did was I supercharged all the way up to 90%, and then I was going to park just in the lot somewhere beside. The idea being with the climate on all night, I figured I'd lose, you know, 5-10%. I know Bjorn's done a lot of testing with this, but with the Model 3, I wasn't really sure what I was going to lose. So I figured, well, in the morning, I'll just plug back in for a few more minutes, top it up, and go. As soon as I'd said that, I unplugged. I look across. There's 2 free level 2s in the same lot, like 100 feet away. I thought, ding, okay. So park the car over there. I mean, it's North Carolina. I mean,
there's nobody around.
No, there's not a huge EV community. Come on, North Carolina, get with the program. Yeah. Let's go. Because I was a solo act down there. There was no one. So I figured, what's the harm? And it, you know, if somebody desperately needs a charge, if 2 cars happen to show up, knock on the window. Yeah. Hey, I'll move it. No worries about it. So I plugged in, and it was absolutely perfect. It was like being at a campground, right? Like plugging into the service. So the car stayed at 90% all night, and I kept the climate control on. I got to tell you, that's the best night's sleep I'd had in weeks. And I'm not saying that for like, oh my God, you should get, you know, no, really, it genuinely was. The car is dead quiet inside. You don't appreciate how well sound insulated that car is till you actually sleep in it. And just the faint whisper of the AC going. I mean, I've slept in so many crummy hotels where the AC is like, you know, like, and this is like, just lulling you to sleep. It was fantastic.
So you're telling us an added benefit of a car like the Model 3 is you can sleep in it better than in the hotel.
Yes.
All right, there you go. That's all you need to know.
Did you use your fireplace?
I did not. I thought it would be a little creepy to have romance mode on by myself. Not judging, for those of you who do, not judging.
Little Barry White.
Well, if you didn't tap it to start the music, it just had the fire going, you've been okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Turn the volume down.
I could have.
Sure.
But no, I figured, no distractions. Let's just go straight to...
So how many hours did it take you to get down?
32 and 50 is what I calculated. I left the house at precisely 5. Stopped to pick up some breakfast, and then so if I deduct that, The actual driving time on the road, so that includes all the time I'm driving and all the time I'm charging, was about 32 hours and 50 minutes.
Because normally, I mean, if you go cannonball style from Montreal or Toronto, whatever, you can get down here if you drive straight and not stop only for fuel. It's about 24 to 26 hours, somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's door to door, by the way. That is from my house in Vaudreuil all the way to Tap 42 in Fort Lauderdale.
That was the bar we were at. If you watch the video, we were hanging out at night. That's where we went.
One of my friends was watching me on Glimpse the whole way down. He said you crossed in over the Florida state line at just over the 26-hour mark.
Wow.
So yeah, we made good time, I must say. Good time.
That's awesome.
Speeding a little bit.
A little bit.
But we won't mention. We were watching him on Glimpse.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's booking.
Yep.
It's a P3D.
Why not?
You have to. The car's just like, come on. You know.
It's funny though, because my dad experienced it for the first time last night.
Yeah.
We went out for dinner and stuff and got him in the car.
Yeah.
And I was actually sitting in the back, and I was waiting at one point. We were waiting right there in Hollywood, and I was like, Ian, the light's green. And then at just one fraction of a second, I know what he's doing. It took off like that. And that was actually the first time I actually been like not normally, because I know what to expect. When you don't expect it, I really felt it right in my chest that first time, right? And my dad was like gripping the door
He's
handle.
very quiet, but I could feel like the door handle slowly getting crushed. So I thought, okay, we better back it off now, you know.
I'm sure Bev loved it.
Oh,
Bev went with you for a little bit there, but she loved.
I
She lives for that.
I
stuff.
dropped like 10% SOC just launching that thing from every light.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like
breakfast.
again.
Yeah, she lives for that stuff though.
But I must say the most challenging thing of the drive was the very early parts. For those of you who don't follow the weather up north, you're lucky, for one. But it was super cold. We had this whole polar vortex thing going on, and I recorded the coldest temperature I'd ever seen in the car so far was in Watertown, New York. It was minus 23 Celsius when I plugged into charge there, and I made it with 2%. That was my first stop. And the whole, I mean, I don't get freaked out about anything. I'm kind of like, you know, yeah, no problem. You know, there's live monsters, whatever on the road. It's no big deal. We'll just dart around them. Zombie apocalypse. No big deal.
State of emergency that you drove through.
Exactly. That freaked me out. So it all started when I took the 401 from Quebec into Ontario and crossed 1,000 Islands. Canadians will all know this route. And this takes you onto Interstate 81 on the New York side. And as I approached the toll booth, which is still on the Canadian side, the lady at the toll booth says, oh yeah, all my friends say I'm nuts for being here with what's going on down there. I'm kind of like, what are you talking about exactly? She says, oh yeah, big storm over there, you know, and like they're talking about closing the roads, and I'm thinking, okay,
That's not
this
a big
is
deal.
interesting.
Why is this a problem?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking, and it's still kind of bluish sky around. Like the sun was just starting to appear on the horizon at this point. It was around, I guess, 7 a.m. So I drive and then, you know, cross a few sections of bridge, and I come to the border station, and then the U.S. border agents, you know, ask me the usual perfunctory questions, hands my passport back and says, by the way, sir, I'm obliged to tell you that Jefferson County is under a state of emergency. That means that we have not closed the road, but if the state troopers catch you driving on the road, they can pull you over. Which I thought was very odd. In 35, 38 years of driving, I've never had that. It's like, are you closing the road or not? Why are you leaving it open? This is basically some sort of a fundraising event? What are you doing? Like, how does this work exactly? But I'm not, you never ask questions like that.
Well, no, not
never.
to the
So you
border
just
agents.
smile and nod and acknowledge you've received this information faithfully, and you proceed, which is what I did. And I really threaded the needle. I got so lucky on that because you could see the sky was all blue, but by God was there a lot of snow. Feet and feet of snow. Like, I mean, the banks on the side of the highway were like piled 3 feet high. Wow. So they had just gotten hammered. And sure enough, when I just crawled into Watertown with 2% left on the battery, I had to like clear away the snow on the supercharger. You'll see some of the pictures I tweeted. It's like stuck to the body of the supercharger. It was nuts how much snow they had gotten. And then, you know, I'm looking at the temperature thinking, how is this thing going to charge? Because we all know if the battery itself is very cold, you're not going to get a great charge late. So I'm already kind of getting depressed. I'm like, oh, here goes my glorious time out the window. This is going to take forever. So I plugged the thing in. And like within 30 seconds, wow, like 115 kilowatts. It's charging like a beast.
Yeah.
I'm thinking at minus 23, that was cool. So obviously the ambient temperature has nothing to do with it. It's just how much heat there is in the battery. The key is make sure you've got your heater on as long as you can afford it, because that actually, a lot of people are saying that draws more energy and it'll keep the battery warmer, and just drive it, man.
How much mileage were on your tires before you made the trip?
Yeah, we should talk about tires. I got peppered with questions like, what type of tires was I on? So to start with, this was definitely a do as I say and not as I do moment, because I've been telling people on the podcast, if you're Canadian, if you're going down anytime to the south in winter, the smart move is to always keep your winter tires on, because you never know what sort of conditions you get. I've seen it all. I've seen beautiful dry roads the whole way there and back, and then I've seen like absolute snowpocalypse. So the safe move is definitely, especially if you have the V-rated tires, they'll do fine. I mean, they're so temperature resistant that they won't really notice the difference. If you have a very soft, low speed, like a T-rated or whatever, you have to sort of putter around here. You don't get any drifting competition going or anything. You'd be nice to them, but they'll do fine for the purposes of a week. However, that's what I recommend people do. It's not what I do. I wanted to have some fun down here. You got to remember, folks, when I got this car, it was the end of September. I mean, the clock was ticking. I only had a month or so of really nice weather to enjoy it. Yeah. So, I've been on winters ever since. And I mean, of course, that's a whole other story. I've had fun in the snow, but I wanted to drive the car like it was meant to be driven in the dry. So I said, let's put on some all seasons. So I wound up on our Volt Titanium, man. I had a set of pure contact Continentals, which is a very high efficiency tire. It's got very low rolling resistance, and it's a nice aggressive tread all season. And we've driven the car in the snow in them, and it actually works okay. So I thought, I'll take a chance, I'll throw those on. Boy, did that ever wind up being a great test, because the whole first day, the conditions just went from strange to worse. We had the super freezing cold in New York State. Then getting into Pennsylvania, we started to get hammered with very wet snow, some ice pellets. It was just a mixture of anything you want. And I mean, there was cars flying off the road, left, right, and center. I have to say, it did spectacularly well. Everything that you see people doing with this car and saying, yeah, the control in winter is great, even on the all seasons, I have to say that's true. It is tremendously confidence inspiring. You have to respect the limits, but one of the things I love about that tire is that it is very predictable. So even if it doesn't have the traction of a winter tire, when it gets to the edge, it'll give you a little nudge like, you gotta take it down a notch, bud. You gotta take it down. It's not like, oof, nope, sorry, you're gone. So the tires had maybe 6,000 kilometers. What would that be? About 4,000 miles. So they're still relatively fresh. Gotcha. Although I'm doing my best to correct that situation now down here.
But that reminds me, because last night after we dropped my parents off going around the corner and stuff, that I caught you on the side of the road and you were playing with your tire pressure.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, again, it's like, the
my dad shoes, right? Isn't that Ian on the side? What's he doing to his tires? I said to him, I think he's adjusting his tire pressure because he left the house and they were cold. I can't imagine what they're at right now.
Well, it's real critical. I mean, when you're dealing with super cold temperatures like that, you have to check the temperatures outside when the car is cold. So cold meaning like parked wherever it's going to be working. Like, you can't put the car in your garage and check it there where it's warm. You need the car outside. So the night prior, when it was about -15 or so, I'd set the tire pressures to 45 PSI, so they'd stay there. And you even want to add a little more, because a tire is supposed to increase pressure as you drive it. It's designed, if you set it at 42 as you drive, you'll see it'll go to 44, 45, 46.
Yes,
and it's supposed to do that. The engineers figured that out. When it's -23 out, it doesn't do that anymore. It's like, there. I'm out, whatever you set me at, that's what I'm staying at. Maybe I'm going to drop. They just lose too much heat, just like we do. Yeah. So you want to actually bump them up. So yeah, by the time I had hit Georgia, they were reading like 52 PSI. It was like driving a cement mixer. And every time I got in the car down here, it's like, I got to do that. I got to fix that. I got to fix that. So finally I couldn't take it anymore. So 10 o'clock on the side of the road last night. Yeah, I was like, that's it. I've had it.
Wow.
What have you been up to?
Well,
you took an epic road trip out to California.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Tell us about that one.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So what was the idea behind that, anyways?
My sons were in California, so we went to visit them.
Okay.
But California, Fremont, we thought, good idea to go to the factory.
Factory tour?
Yeah, but we couldn't make it.
You couldn't make it?
Yeah, it was too much. But we had a lot of fun. The one thing that we did do and enjoy a lot was the people we met on the trip. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the journey was probably better than the destination, for real, because so of course we were in social media all the time, and I actually got recognized by someone on the road. That was like unexpected, right? Because the channel's young, I haven't been doing it that much, so that was interesting. And then people that we'd never seen before. We met on the road and exchanged information. We actually made some friends. We have actually kept in touch a little bit. So it's great. And the other thing is that we never got tired. We drove for 30 some hours, pretty much nonstop, and we never got tired.
That supercharging thing is completely. People don't realize what supercharging is like.
That's huge. And I mean, you know, that was one of the biggest differences. I went into this trip, as I said earlier, a little nervous because I didn't know how that vibe was going to go. It was going to be such a much longer trip than I thought, and it wound up being so much shorter. And even at that, the fact that you get out of the car every 2.5 hours is great. And it's funny, you know, like I have to imagine all the Model S and Model X people looking at us going, where have you people been? We've been doing this for years. We've been telling you this. Exactly. It's like you're all discovering. I know. Just let us have some fun with this and tell you how wonderful it is. I know you've known this for years.
Don't bother with comments. I'll just delete them.
That's right. We know you've been there, done that.
There's
respect.
filters and stuff now.
That's it.
I just learned about that.
There you go.
It was really easy, actually. Like,
really, it makes a huge difference.
I mean, every time, like Ian was saying, like the car said we're going to arrive with like 10%, dead on like 10%. We charge, so we usually charge for 30 to 50 minutes. And that was like all the times.
Just enough to get to the next stop.
Yeah. And sometimes like you can see how just overcharging just makes it worse because it takes longer once the battery is fuller. So when you get to the next one, you have more charge, so it's going to be slower. Right. So we stopped, like, because we did 2 weeks before that, we did a trip to Pennsylvania. We went to Philadelphia.
That's right.
And that's why I learned how to trust the computer.
Yeah, you really do have to trust it.
Yeah, and trust it like blindly. Like it didn't fail a single time.
Yeah. So how many stops did you have to stop the charge both ways? Because I know you said you was about 9 stops from Montreal down to here, but how many stops was there for you going to Fremont and back?
I think we stopped 18 times.
It's about double.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
It was 3,060 some miles.
Because yours is about 1,600 miles one way?
It was a long drive.
He started with less miles than me. He came back with a lot more miles than I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And the other thing is that Autopilot, I drove for 10%. I actually calculated it. About 10% is what I drove. And Autopilot just took care of the rest.
Yeah.
Once you learn it, I mean, I use it every day, even in my commute on the streets. You know, I don't use it just on the highway. So I guess the message is use it as much as you can so you can learn its limitations. Because it definitely has limitations. It's not full self-driving. It's just a really cool cruise control.
Not only that, by using it, you're also giving Tesla more data. So you're allowing to see what conditions it handles with city traffic, with highway traffic. So the more miles that it has, the more the AI learns, the better the service actually gets.
I gave Tesla 8,000 miles of Autopilot data in 4 weeks.
We should get some extra credit for that, right? You know, like we should have Autopilot.
I've driven 12,000 miles period in like 9 months.
They should bump me to full self-driving. I earned
Tesla,
it.
if you're listening, this is the next, okay, the referral program's gone, it should be the Autopilot program. That's what we want now.
Yeah, that's right.
Leaderboard.
Yeah.
How many miles you do in Autopilot in a minute.
Yeah.
So after your drive, did you do something to your car? You want to tell us about?
Yeah, tell us about what you did.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. So a few months ago, I was looking at options to do something funky with the car, like change the color. And I found this website with information because Nate, Purple Model 3, recommended it, right?
Right.
And so I was looking through options and I saw this beautiful Porsche that had this crazy color scheme. I said, I want that because it looks like I'm a gearhead. Like I've raced, I've done so many things, taken engines apart, everything. So back in the day when Ford came out with a special paint for the Mustang, it was limited edition. They called it Mystique, I think it was. It's pretty much what I did to my car. So yeah, it outside is no longer midnight silver metallic, but the soul is intact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, underneath.
Because it's got that nice color shift. Green to purple.
It goes from like a deep purple to almost a teal blue-ish.
And it's like a flake that they mix into the stuff before they spray it, right?
Yeah, so the day we did it, so we did it all in one shot. We washed the car, prepped it, just masked everything. It got 14 coats of black as the base.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
14?
14 coats.
Jeez.
Yeah, because it was, I think it was...
With a very tiny, fine brush. It's a long time.
We use mice. We just use the mice. It's
like a Michelangelo
we use
thing.
duck feathers. It's a fine.
I'm ready to race Rafael's car because his must be heavier than mine now.
Actually, you'd be surprised because, you know.
You have bigger wheels.
More rolling resistance.
No, but it was great. I mean, after the 14 coats, it took 6 coats of the clear coat. They call it the top coat. But that you mix it with this powder.
Yeah,
I saw the powder. Yeah, it's really awesome. The guys from DYC are the people that manufacture that product. They sell a lot of that in like spray cans, but they sell it in gallons and like the proper setup. They even you buy the kit and it's like a paint gun, everything you need. So,
did they give you kind of an idea of how long this will really last on your?
Yeah, they say that it should, if I take care of it, a good 4 or 5 years without any issues at all. And that if I keep it in the garage and my car sleeps inside the garage every single night. So except from when I'm doing a road trip, crazy road trip. But yeah, it's durable. And the other thing is that it's like probably even a little bit thicker than the actual PPF.
Yeah.
Right. So it's basically changing the color, the look of the car, making it custom, and at the same time protecting the paint. So it's not permanent. It's sprayed, but it doesn't have any glue. Yeah. It comes out like latex, like a glove. Yeah. And the paint is like no issues with it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good story. Michael, what have you been up to lately?
I've been
building your YouTube channel.
Working on my channel, learning a lot.
Which is awesome.
Can't say enough thank you to Trev, who shares so much knowledge with me. It's not everyone's in it together. We're all looking to make content.
We're a big family, that's for sure.
And I've had some service issues.
Yeah,
I got a lot of comments saying, I was saving those service issues for the end of the referral program because that makes sense.
Really.
No, I had some service issues, and even Elon said in the Q4 call, there are service issues and they're working on it. So I was happy to see that. Really happy that I have my car back, and we'll knock on wood. Autopilot issues are gone. Car feels great. I'm really happy because they don't make my car anymore. So I didn't know what was going to happen if it had to come to that. I love having rear-wheel drive, actually. It's a lot of fun down here. So,
And your issue started with what they thought was the camera, right? They replaced the repeater on the right-hand side, you think?
Yeah, so the right-hand repeater camera, which if you don't know what that is, it's the camera in the side marker.
Yeah, with the blinker built in.
With the blinker built in. They came out with mobile service. Tried to change it out. The first visit, they couldn't get their computer to connect to my car. And re-flashing the software is required. So that was like 30 minutes, and then they said, all right, can't do service today. Second attempt, they came out, got the computer to connect, we're good. They dented my car taking out the camera. Got the new camera in, we were in business, I thought, and then the error came back, so that was no good. Brought it into the shop, changed the camera again for a third time, dented my car again, and issue came back, and then it turned into we've changed this camera out so many times, I think we've broken the cable. So they changed out the wiring, and they told me, car's ready, you're gonna have it tomorrow, we're gonna do some test drives with it, so I was really excited. In the morning I was checking in, like, where's my car? I can't wait, I can't wait. Bad news, the error came back. Okay, what are we gonna do now? And ended up changing out the whole car's computer. So, cool, my car's brand new, kind of. I mean, they didn't reset the odometer. We were wondering if that was going to happen.
You were like,
that would have been great. Then I would have upgraded to a P3D with 0 miles on the clock. But a word of advice for anyone who has this happen, not that you can really do much about it, I lost all of my settings, my profiles, garage door opener. They were
backing it up.
They said they were going to back it up. They were not sure if it was going to actually save. And sure enough, it didn't.
Well, didn't Elon say a number of months ago that they were going to move that to the cloud?
Yeah.
That would be totally awesome if they did that.
They'll probably do that now. Since I've already gone through this.
Of course they will.
But that'll be great. So I lost my seat positions, the garage door openers, Bluetooth. The only thing I kept was my favorite channels in Slacker. So I guess I had the same login. So
priorities, right?
It was saved
well, at the end of the day, I was going to say,
he loves Celine Dion.
It was right there, first button press. Yeah.
There you go. As long as you got that.
So how's the channel going? Growing?
Good. Yeah, I'm up to 3,500 subscribers.
Nice.
Big thank you to everyone. And
4 of them right here.
Awesome.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, and it's been great. Every time I turn around, I'm buying more gear. So you don't make money on YouTube. You just keep buying stuff to make more things for YouTube.
You accumulate stuff, yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
It's the camera purchase program.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as I get to the point where I'm happy, then I'm gonna buy a new camera and then start the whole thing over again.
I'm the same way. It's always just a continuous. Just take that money and put it into this and this and this and this.
Yeah, but end a referral program, I don't care. We're gonna keep making content and.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. Well, that's the thing. It's a passion. You know, I was making content before there was a referral program. I don't care. I mean, yeah, it's been good, but it's.
Should we pause and say congratulations? You've won some cars.
Oh
yes.
Wow. Yeah, but we talked about that before. So
We have.
we don't want to upset anybody anymore. Yeah. We have to. What have you been up to, Eric?
Well, let's see. Hanging out with you fellas, that's for sure.
Always fun with us.
I will say, if you're watching the show, and we got cameras all over the place here, I wanted to say thank you to all of you who've been following the show. When I met, we talked about it earlier, the Cars and Coffee from last year. That was the first time I met Trevor in person. Both you and Bev was at the event last year, and for some
Michael as well, because he took delivery of his car literally 3 days later.
I was on a business trip though. I missed it.
That's right, because you took
the
red eye
at the Tesla showroom. Yeah.
So I was one of those people who were reservation holders, just a casual follower of your channel.
Actually, all three of these guys, I should mention, I met them all at Cars and Coffee. Rafael, Michael, and Eric, of course. Yeah. So. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's totally fine. It's always good to add some context to the story. So
this guy I've known forever. So
yeah.
Interrupt you one more time.
No, it's fine. He's known Ian since he actually had hair. So
no, that was a long time ago. That was far.
Right,
yes.
right. Ian keeps it nice and short because the winter months it's just easier to not have to go to the barber. So so I went to the Cars and Coffee. I've been following your channel for a long time, and I found some of the most intuitive and great content I'd seen regarding Tesla and Model 3 was really coming out of your channnel. And I didn't know about the forum until I actually saw the channel first. So then I started reading stuff in the forum, and it just kept getting my brain going like, oh my God, I look forward to this, and stuff was going to happen. So when I heard about Cars and Coffee, I was like, this is it. I can see the car, I can actually touch it and feel it and the whole thing, not have it like behind some rope line in some store.
Oh, that sucks.
Which was weird. And then, yeah, so I went to the event. I was there early, bright and early, because I was just so excited. And it got to the point where in the course of the event, I sat in Roger's car and I was just totally like in awe. I sat in every seat to get the vantage point. Where does it sit in this car? What's it like for the passenger and for the drivers and everything else? And then later on that day, I had talked to Beverly. And for whatever reason, I just talked to her for like half an hour.
She's easy to talk to.
I know, she was very sweet, very loving. If you've ever met Bev or ever see Bev, she's fantastic. By the way, the holiday outtake video you guys put together with Nutmeg, classic. That's you want to know her true personality, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So then...
Really?
Right.
Really?
Anyway, so at some point, you would come over to Beverly and she goes, oh, I want you to meet my new friend here. And it was that conversation
we hit it off
from
right
that
after
just hit it off like we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
And so I feel very fortunate to be part of this entire process, and it all started with really you guys just being so open-minded and so warm-hearted with everything, and that's what this community has always been about. So if you follow these guys on their social media platforms, if you watch our shows, if you listen to the podcast, if you've been clamoring for Tesla, like if you hitting on tune in on their Twitter pages, like why is this podcast not in the car? We're here because of you, and we put out this content every week because we want to support the community, and our sponsors. Our thanks to all of our sponsors for all you guys are doing, because all the stuff that we do, the hardware that we have to buy, the stuff we put together, all of this is not going to happen if it's not for all the support that's out there. So I wanted to just kind of get that out right before we get into the hysterics later on. And for the record, I haven't cursed yet, so there we go.
It's just a matter of time, though.
I know.
I'm amazed at the restraint.
It's also expletive. I mean, I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. Anyway, so as far as what I've been up to, I've recently just had moved to a new apartment, so I got that going on. Started a new job again, too, which is really great. Have a relationship, which is wonderful. So life is great. But ideally, other than just hanging out with you buffoons, it's not a lot going on. So it's all good.
So much love.
Yeah. But no, I mean, put it this way. When I met Bev last year, I'd been with her a couple of times with conversation. She's like, oh, you can just come to our place in Toronto. We'll just stay in our house. most folks don't just meet some person in some foreign city and go, hey, why don't you come to our place and hang out for a week? So I haven't taken up on the offer yet. It will be forthcoming.
I think Rafael's going to beat you to that.
Probably. He's already got the car to get up there, but yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. I think it's time for a little break. I think this podcast, we need some snacks.
I'm hungry.
You guys hungry?
I'm hungry.
So
let's
have a little fun here, because Ian and I decided to have a little bit of fun here. We decided to bring down some snacks from Canuckistan to share with our Yankee friends. Stuff that's not available down here that I thought you guys would really like.
We're going to start it out small.
Smart? Okay.
Yeah.
So
this is not planned, by the way.
No, in no way, shape, or form. This is completely spontaneous.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh my God! Where did this food just come from?
Is that a new channel sponsor?
Nestle Aero Bar.
The Aero Bar.
Yes, it's bubbly treats. So we have the standard conventional version, which would be
chocolate.
Chocolate, yes. This would be the standard chocolate one. So it's all chocolate all the way through with a bubbly center. And then we have
the mint version.
The mint one, which is slightly warped. I haven't
figured this one. Looks like it melted a bit, right?
I'm thinking it did. Yes. Okay. So
by the way,
it's gone through some temperature changes.
By the way,
right.
Yeah. So the mint one is actually my favorite.
Yes.
But you know what this is really good with? A big jar of Jiffy peanut butter.
Oh yeah, I would imagine.
Oh,
sacrilege! No. You have to have it. It has to be pure.
So you guys can open those. I know you don't like pepper. You don't like mint. You're not a fan of mint.
I'm gonna start with this.
Let's see what we got here.
Give him a piece of the chocolate.
Now, for these guys who don't necessarily know a lot, because I'm all about just being candor and
are you okay with this?
Yeah.
Pass it around.
So I can smell it already. So I've been vegetarian now for several years, and I discovered I had celiac disease a few years ago, so I can't have anything with gluten. So when I was given this bag of goodies from Ian a few days ago, I didn't start looking at ingredients for like the last couple days. So I'm like, here's the stuff I can and cannot eat. So if you see me not eating something, it's because I can't eat it. But this is for sure.
Yes, we don't want him going to anaphylactic shock right in the air.
So just to confirm, I cannot get this here.
No,
because this is really good.
It's
Pretty good.
Yeah. So.
Well, everything we brought, you can't get here. Sucks to be you.
We're starting off with the basics. We're gonna work it up.
We're
gonna ramp it up.
That's really, really good.
All right.
You guys keep going. I'm good.
Did you want to try the mint one?
No,
No. Okay. All right.
For the second peppermint gives me headache. I don't know why.
By the way, this color green is not natural.
No, it's very
no, it's definitely not.
There's not much natural in there.
I don't know if you can catch that on camera, but it's got a green center. That's okay. The dog will take care of that.
I got it. Let's go.
This is
chocolate.
So
that's good.
The second item on our agenda is the Nestle Coffee Crisp. Now this is a real Canadian classic. This is the good stuff right here.
Who likes coffee?
Yeah. Who doesn't like coffee?
I'm going to try it.
Are you?
Oh,
okay. You got to have some of this. All right. So we're going to, Rafael. Yeah. Cut yourself off a hunk there.
Is there poutine down there somewhere, or is that wouldn't
that
travel
would have been
too
a
well?
little tougher. Yeah, just it takes a lot of force to snap it off. Yeah. There we go. Okay.
This is one of my. I'll pass it on to the next guys because this is one of my favorites.
Oh, this is like a Twix.
No.
I can't.
You could kind of, you could call it roughly a coffee flavored Twix. I think.
Oh, I know. That's why I like it so much.
Wow.
Let's see.
Notice our Canadian friends are not eating the things that they can get like every day of the week.
No, we're waiting for the good stuff.
That's like a Kit Kat.
It's like a Kit Kat, but it's got a mocha flavor to it.
Exactly. Yeah, a mocha Kit Kat. I guess you could call it that.
That's good. So we brought.
All right.
We brought some more.
So
actually, you guys keep talking. I'll be right back because I got a couple more in my bag. And
Oh boy.
This one was brought at Trevor's request.
Yeah, I'm ready for those.
Yeah, this is basically kind of like the poor man's French fries. Is essentially what it is. So if you can imagine a cold French fries, or basically little, we should almost put these in like some sort of a bowl, yeah, or
We're all
maybe
friends
pour
here.
them
We
out
just
in your
reach
hands.
in.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in the States, we call these picnics.
Oh yeah, you have these?
Oh, it looks like we do.
Yeah.
Hickory.
Yeah. It's like
This has some kind of
little
special
potato chip shavings is how I would describe it. Sort of.
Yeah, these are like picnics.
Wow.
It's our version of this.
Yeah. I'm back.
More snacks.
More snacks. Definitely hickory. I think I know what those are. It tastes like it came out of the grill.
Yep.
Yeah, those are good.
Exactly.
Oh, these hickory
Indulge.
sticks.
By the way, if this doesn't turn you on, I don't know what else we got.
This is about cars. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
obviously, yeah.
This one you guys can pass around. This is called Eat More.
Not less.
Original dark toffee peanut chews.
Too soon.
You guys can.
It's toffee?
This is really good.
It's got your name on it.
Yeah, flake like you. Cadbury Flake. This Cadbury is a British company. And for some reason in Canada, we get a lot of British stuff. So this is actually, if you like the Aero bar, you'll really like this because this is even lighter in the middle, so you guys can bite into that if you want.
What's in the Eat More again?
Let's see.
Oh, it's a toffee peanut chew.
Now, funny, Bridget's
I don't know what it says over here.
tough.
So these, but have you ever seen these in the U.S.?
It
Because
says
I thought
original
these.
dark toffee peanut chew.
I was
I've never seen that.
No, okay.
I see how you did that.
So Trev was correct. Okay. Oh,
All right, let's see.
Oh, that's the gum for. I'll give
Okay.
you guys some, I brought some gum for
we'll do that later.
This looks interesting.
Oh, crap.
If you've seen Caddyshack, this looks,
Oh yeah.
No, that was an O. Henry bar.
That was an O. Henry.
it kind of resembles the scene in Caddyshack.
It does. It does, which might put you off it from the outset.
Yeah.
Those who've seen the film.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's happening here, but it's going to be good, I'm
It's
sure.
really
so.
chewy. It's really chewy. It's chocolate.
So I should have taken less.
What are you doing? Open that.
No, I'm sorry. I'll do this.
It says as seen in Caddyshack right there.
It's the downside. You got to actually look at every.
The problem with this one is it's so bloody flaky, it literally destroys itself inside the packaging.
Oh yeah.
I think the way they, I think the way they make this stuff is that it's extruded in a very thin sheet and it rolls on itself. It just kind of does this weird business, but it's really.
That's pretty good.
Cadbury has some of the best chocolate in the world.
Yep.
You can have a bite of that if you too want, Mike.
Thank you.
Overdose of chocolate.
I think that's it for the chocolate, right?
We'll have to call
well,
him
No, we
Dog.
have more.
We have more. Oh, no. Now we're bringing out the heavy artillery. This is my personal favorite of the entire thing. This is the Vachon à caramel. And those of you, my Canadian friends, who know what this is, I know you're salivating at the very sight of this. As well you should be. We're going to introduce our American friends to this. Okay, because this would put anything from Dolly Madison on the trailer like right away. There's no comparison. I am sorry.
Yeah, you don't need a lot for this.
This is where we excel. So this
Forget
is
about your Mae Wests.
Exactly. Now this to me is the flagship product from them. So this is basically a small vanilla cake with a ring of white icing and a
caramel in the
huge
middle.
glob of liquid caramel in the center, all covered in chocolate. It is to die. It is to die. Mr. Bodner, here.
Thank you
You can bust one open
for
from
sending
your
me
end.
2 of these.
Yes. Well, you have to share. We have lots of them, though.
I will. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Yeah, you gotta have one. You gotta have one.
It's on the list.
Oh no, that's right. Eric cannot because there's gluten in it, unfortunately. Yeah.
Here's a.
All right. Well, here, use this one, Michael, because I already opened it.
All right, thank you.
Make sure I'm not dropping anything.
Is there some kind of jelly in here?
What's that in the
It's,
No, it's just caramel.
It's caramel.
Just caramel.
Caramel. Okay.
Oh, crap.
Or some people say caramel.
Caramel.
I'm gonna eat a napkin.
Caramel.
Like,
This is pretty good.
Hey, wait, that's more of a jelly in the middle. I thought that was supposed to be caramel.
yes,
Which
like
one's
the-
strawberry shortcake?
Well,
Oh, you got the strawberry version. That's not the caramel one.
That's
I did?
Yeah, it is a strawberry jelly.
Big fail. Womp, womp.
oh my God, I bought the wrong box.
It's still good.
It's still good.
It is quite delightful, though. Still.
It's very airy.
Yeah.
I want to use some descriptive terms here. Very airy.
We said that you're allowed to swear in the podcast just this once.
I love how you're like a Food Network going, this is delectable. This is very light and fluffy.
I learned from Food Network Star, you don't just say, this is good. Yeah, but what does that mean? It's airy.
I've recently
Now, what
watched
does that mean? I don't know, but
It's only the smallest frogs, lightly killed.
FineLab has a line of protective coatings that were engineered to protect your Tesla's paint, leather, carpet, plastic, and wheels, effectively blocking all those UV rays and environmental factors before they ever get to ruin your brand new baby. FineLab offers a complete line of car care products and ceramic coatings for both the do-it-yourselfer and professional detailers. Did we mention we also have the world's first self-healing coating? Check us out at finelab.com, that's spelled F-E-Y-N-L-A-B, to see the science behind the self-healing. Check out our product catalog and click Contact Us for a free quote from a certified installer in your area. FineLab and Tesla. We were meant for each other.
I've recently watched a video where a guy, it was like a Michelin chef,
Yeah.
and he critiqued Girl Scout cookies.
Really?
It was great though.
Really?
Because it's like
That ought to be funny.
Like he had because Girl Scouts now have the gluten-free toffee one,
Yeah.
which I've had, which are pretty good. And he actually just bit it and goes, and just I forgot what he described it, but it was like, well, now I have to eat it because he says it's good. So,
Of course.
Anyone can cook. What else you got there?
I was actually a joke before too about you mentioned the cold air in Canada. It's like you'd have to adapt to the environment. It's like you don't follow the weather. The weather follow you.
Very true.
Yeah.
And here we have the Joe Louis.
Joe Louis.
Again, another flagship product.
As a
from
kid, let me
Professional.
tell you, those things always made their way into my
Yes.
lunchbox.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Or
Any
a
of us.
hockey arena
Or
in
a-
Detroit.
We can tell.
Well, I put on a little bit of weight. I used to be like, I looked like you until I was about 23.
Pass them along.
These are getting bigger each time.
It's like a hockey puck.
That's you can play
They
hockey
actually
with
sell
these.
them in half Joe Louis too. They're called a half a
They
Joe.
have these in Joe Louis Arena, probably.
Do they?
Possibly.
I have no idea. But now it's Little Caesars
All
Arena,
right,
so I don't know what happened.
Start
to it.
making stuff
Rafael?
up now.
Okay. All right.
That's Detroit.
Am I going to
Red
eat
Wings,
this whole thing?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, you are.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to split it in half?
Come on.
We don't
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because my wife is such an incredible baker, these things do not grace our pantry at home. So it's been about 15 years
So it's a
since,
treat.
There you
since
go.
I've had one of these.
There you
But
go.
as a kid, like I said, these things were always in my lunchbox.
These look
Oh,
like
yeah.
these will hold up in the packaging for 15 years.
Yeah,
they probably-
they say there's only about 4 things in the world that'll survive a nuclear blast.
Twinkies? Always Twinkies.
Yeah.
Well,
These are
Joe
on the
Louis,
list?
Oh, yeah.
Tupperware, cockroaches, and Christmas cake. So the cake on the inside is kind of a
my God.
orangey
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is a chocolate. Yeah, it's basically a small chocolate layer cake with
I used to, you know
vanilla
what?
icing
So
in the
is it like
center
a
and
moon
a
pie?
chocolate.
You
It
know,
looks like a moon
It
pie.
looks like a
It's very
moon
similar.
pie.
Yeah, it's
it
kind of the
tastes
the-
better than a moon pie.
It does.
trust me.
Yeah, it's the Canadian take on the moon pie.
You know, the way I used to eat these were like an Oreo. I'd separate them and lick the.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you have to be good.
Take your
This
time.
is-
You don't have to eat it so fast.
We got
There you
more.
go.
We got more.
Oh yeah.
How are you making out there, buddy? You can't even get the package open.
I don't want to like it's.
These are
I'm
good.
spilling this all over.
Eric likes
We'll
the
have to
hickory
take the
sticks.
vacuum out. It's all
Pretty
right.
tasty. Mild flavor too.
Oh, the Hostess? Yeah, these are good. When I was a kid, I used to go buy, not ketchup, but barbecue chips, Hostess, the little bags, 25
Yep.
cents or whatever. That and my Spider-Man comic book. I was happy camper.
I don't know how you've eaten the whole thing.
I'll be honest. This video is gonna have
Takes
the
practice.
most like watches.
Maybe.
I'm not so sure.
Honey, what are you doing? Shh. Trevor's eating food. Who's Trevor?
Yeah.
What do you mean, who's Trevor?
Right before the food part is when you put the link to another video, just in case. give him another option to check out.
Exactly.
Come back when we review lingerie.
I'm not wearing
That would be a whole other show.
We put a lot of time into wardrobe for this.
You
There
can save
were-
it later. There's
there were
more.
some
You can have
choices.
more.
No, that's fine. Especially you keep pulling stuff out.
There's more.
Okay, so we're working up we're working up the scale on what is the most Canadian. I think this is
I like.
number 2
Oh my
on the
God,
list.
bring it.
This
Number
is
2 on the
absolutely
list?
the most Canadian.
Yes, the Lay's ketchup flavored potato chips. These apparently, like black market down here, fetch a healthy price.
Really?
What I'm told. Yes,
Oh,
believe it
boy.
or not.
And
Apparently,
here we are. We're going to ruin the whole value of this package.
Yes.
My
Right,
first
we
time
are.
in Toronto,
Yeah.
I was told to get those immediately.
You have to.
And I did.
Right.
And they were
Oh, so
great.
you've already tried them?
I have had these before.
Oh,
Yeah.
holiday.
I have not tried these yet.
We, I would not be surprised if a few of the Canadian companies set up vending machines at the border stations with these. I really think that
They
should
would
be.
do hella business
Yes.
down here.
All right,
These are
there we go. I'm just gonna grab a few because I'm sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh wow, look at that. Wow,
you.
looks like looks like a.
And then your
like-
fingers turn red and your tongue turns red too.
Yes,
The
that's
dye.
part of the attraction.
Oh
Yes.
my God!
That's
Forgot
a
about
feature,
that
not a
part.
bug.
That is so good.
Isn't it? Isn't it delightful?
It's not overly
favorite.
powerful too.
No,
These
no,
are,
no.
these are my favorite.
Subtle yet
Not
invigorating.
only that, the chips are very light.
This is
Hey.
interesting.
Good thing no one has a white interior here, so you won't even.
Oh yes, definitely do not eat these in a white interior model. Any
No.
Tesla.
I've
No.
never seen this before. It's,
No?
It's not bad.
Come on, man.
Eric
Run back.
loves them. I think he's ditched the hickory sticks in favor of the ketchup
I'm
chips.
going to put Eric in charge of them because he's you know, he's got to catch up here. There's certain products.
Ketchup,
can
good
handle.
joke.
I've been eating these for years.
Oh, you ruined it.
And now,
Good.
we don't really have anything to put it on, but just because it is, I think, the most Canadian thing ever, maple syrup.
The real
The
stuff.
real stuff.
Not
We're-
table syrup,
Yes.
not Aunt Jemima.
No,
This
exactly.
is the real stuff.
The dark stuff.
This
is
is-
it.
Just to be clear, we
This
are
is
not
blood
chugging
of
out
a
of that
maple
bottle,
tree.
right? That's not happening right now, or
Well,
it
I
is?
think I might have some of this on a Joe Louis later. We'll see how the show goes.
This is blood of a maple tree.
It is. Yeah,
It takes 40 gallons to make 1 liter of that stuff.
something like that.
They boil it down.
Yeah.
That's what kept
My
you warm on
grandfather,
your drive
my
down
grandfather used to have a
Yes,
sugar shack.
Exactly.
My grandfather used to have a sugar shack.
Yeah. It's-
Fun times.
I actually tried to make that at home once, where
just
we
hanging
we
out
tapped
in the
our own
sugar
trees
shack
and we did
and
it.
just
Yeah.
smelling
It's really hard to do.
Of the water boiling.
Yeah.
It's just. What's that movie? The one in Ratatouille, you know, where ego sits down and eats the thing. That's what it feels like when I eat that stuff. It's right back to that time when I like knee height of grasshopper. All right, bust out the guy.
Is that
I want some of those.
bro?
That's the only bottle I brought. What?
Oh, can we find that here?
So good.
Not that stuff, man.
No?
No. That's the 20W50. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. Yeah.
So let me ask you guys a question, since we're just kind of hanging around. What would you say was your favorite moment regarding Tesla from last year?
Wow. That's an intense question. Where the hell would we start with that one?
Our personal experience?
Yeah, what would, for you, what would you say is your favorite moment? Whether it's your
funniest tweet?
Whatever you think is just the greatest thing you thought that happened last year with Tesla.
Funding secured.
Well, for me personally was the fact that so much time.
I know, right?
Yeah.
After so long, I finally had like that dream.
Okay.
Hey,
You
wait,
finally got the car?
To pick up that car, right? Definitely the launch of the Falcon Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I actually teared up when I saw that thing going, and I wasn't watching it in person. I watched it on TV, and I was like, I couldn't speak. It was so cool.
When they landed the two rockets
God,
at
that was
Kennedy,
epic. Oh.
Amazing.
I mean, for the guys that don't know, rocket science is hard. Like, it really is extremely hard.
That's why they call it rocket science.
And for SpaceX to do what they're doing with almost regularity is unheard
They
of.
make it look so easy.
I know.
That's the problem.
And even like there was a launch I forget, either early this year or late last year where they tried to do another landing and it ended up just like right
Can
in
you
the
not
water.
hold the tips, please?
And, and then the rocket kind of fell over, but it like
Don't
it
bogart
was
the tips,
gentle,
man.
like, and it just floated and they brought it back in.
Oh,
I guess
I've had
that's
too much
very
already.
hard.
Rafael likes them.
But to see them in that first test, and that wasn't their primary mission, obviously, was to get the Falcon Heavy up, but to see them both land almost like in synchronization
Okay, maybe a
at the Cape was incredible. That was like, and you just heard like that rumble of the roar from Hawthorne basically was everywhere. Every scientist, every enthusiast, every space geek, every kid like us who's going to geek out this weekend, we're all of us like nailed it.
Yep.
You know, because it's going to change the way we consider space travel forever.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Absolutely.
So I have an interesting answer to your question, and it's the community as a whole. It's not one event, it's how amazing this community is. I mean, nobody's cooler than Rafael at sharing his car, everything about it. I met Rafael because he said, hey, can I check out your car? Because I got mine a couple of months before him. Yeah. He was a complete stranger to me. I picked him up. We drove around his neighborhood and we became friends.
Yeah.
And it's all about paying it forward because before that it was John and Austin who I happened to be out there on a business trip and he said, hey,
John was awesome.
We went out to dinner together. I had never met him before. We went out to dinner together. He let me just jump in and drive his car. I just thought I'd be a passenger. And he's like, no, you got to get in the driver's seat and just check this thing out. Yeah. And it's just been story after story of just talking Tesla with people. I just love it.
I have to give a shout out to John too because he was the kind soul that lent the car to Ken and I to do that long video that we did.
The walkthrough video.
He was the mysterious guy.
Yeah.
We've been keeping that secret
time,
forever.
we had to keep it Well, we had to keep it quiet at the time because his brother was a Tesla employee and it could have ruffled some feathers and stuff. But anyways, so yeah, shout out to John, man. If you're watching, buddy, you're great. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and you also keep getting more owners now. You just tweeted out in the last couple of days you've been getting
sold some more cars, didn't you?
So weird. Yeah, yesterday, two guys from where I work, they just they saw the car because of the color and they started asking questions. And then one of them was like, maybe in the future when they're, when I don't have to worry about the charging and how far can I go? I was like, dude, I just went to California and came back. I met the people from the Florida owners of Silicon Valley. Tesla owners of Silicon Valley. Yeah. And I came back all within a week, and I had a lot of fun. I was like, what? How did you do it? And I explained how the charging works, how you don't get tired, you don't have fatigue, the car's no vibration, silent, comfortable, safe. 90% of the drive was autopilot. So I went on, and he was just, his jaw was like going down like that. And then he said, you know what? I'm gonna get it. So, and then he was with one of the IT guys where I work, and it's like, I think we're gonna do it. So,
the guys in the IT get it. They get it and stuff.
And then today, someone else also. Just like, oh man, I love your car, this and that. And I was like, yeah, man, you should get it. Oh, but it's too expensive. I said, why do you call it expensive? You can buy one of these for $44,000, and there's still some discounts from your taxes.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you'll get pretty much a $40,000 car.
And the gas savings.
The gas savings, I explain how, no oil, no filters, no alternators, or...
Insurance is respectable for the car too.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. That's a common question we get a lot about.
This car is $23,000 more than my last car. Insurance is $7 a month cheaper.
I had the exact same experience. Yeah.
Can't
It
beat
didn't
it.
make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Safest car on the road.
My insurance went up $100 a year, and that's mostly because I put full value insurance on the thing.
Yeah.
So if anything ever happens, I get to buy a new one right away.
Model X, Model 3s.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You got to figure it. Come on.
Well, it's not like I wouldn't insure my Model 3.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
I think if for answering my own question, on a personal note, it was certainly the delivery of the car, because I took delivery April 27th of last year. But before that, so I ordered my car in February. It was about 3 weeks after Cars and Coffee. I got the email from Tesla. Actually, no, what it was is there was conversations in the forum and on social media where there were some people who weren't being notified via email, but they can go into their account.
Just check the link and it was there, yeah.
So once I heard about that, I was like every other hour, it's like checking on my account.
Yeah.
So it was February 22nd, and I log into my account, and all of a sudden I see the link that I can go ahead and place the order. So I ordered it, and I put it out on Facebook and Twitter, and within like 10 minutes, I get a FaceTime call from this guy. So he and Bev gave me the call, and like, of course, Bev is always like off the shoulder, but like they're like screaming in joy for me, and I'm just like, I got it! And so they called too, and it was just euphoria. So to have who I believe is the god of knowledge of Model 3 that basically prepared me for getting this car, for him to be the voice saying, good for you. Amazing. Was good. Oh, thanks very much. I appreciate it.
That's Monopoly money, though.
Right.
So.
No. By the way, if you've never touched actual Canadian money, this stuff.
Oh, wait.
Is
That's not worth anything. Here, give me your buck.
Well, given our current government, I'm not sure this is much worth anyway. Anyway, so, and that ends my political section for tonight. So, again, still no cursing, by the way.
What the hell?
So I know I'm being good. I don't know why. So anyway, so again, that was the great thing. But I think for the company as a whole, what I sort of picking up on what you said, to see the community sort of come together when the car really made its way here in South Florida. To see so many folks, like on occasion I would see a blue one pass by my house, or I'd see a red one or a black one. I'm like, okay, I can't wait to get mine. And then now I can't turn a corner without seeing one somewhere.
Oh yeah.
And every Tesla owner, if you're an S, X, or 3 owner, when you see someone else, it's that kind of tip of the cap that you know that you're doing something good for the world. Right. That's the thing that's been really of all of it. Because, I mean, we know there's detractors. We know our friend Earl. Earl, if you're watching this, we love you, buddy. We think you're fantastic.
Frunk Puppy.
Frunk Puppy. We got Frunk Puppy. But anyway, he's one of those that will go after the Bears hard.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. He revels.
Yeah.
You saw today with the coming off the toilet. That was,
So
awesome.
there's
pretty
all
great.
that stuff. But it's to the point that you just made earlier. Like there are some people who are detractors or skeptics, but when you just have an honest heart-to-heart conversation and you talk about what makes the car as great as it is, you break down those barriers, and that's what the community is doing all the time. So yeah, it's been an amazing year with the car. I mean, I've had it now for coming on 10 months, and somebody asked me if I were to give you another car for free, whatever car you want, would you trade it? I'm like, nope.
Well, performance
And then I was
version
like,
of the same
wait,
car.
then I paused.
Not a
I go,
P3D.
it was a P3D.
Only for a higher-end Tesla.
Right, for a higher end Model 3, but no, but I like you, I love my rear-wheel drive. And
it's a lot of fun.
It's been great. Yeah.
So efficient.
It's hella
It
efficient.
is so much fun to drive, and you mentioned that on your trip you did 10% just driving manually, 90% autopilot. There are times where I want to just turn off autopilot because I just want to be able to have the car in my control for a little bit.
Yeah.
And like you said, I know your trip, you said a good chunk of it, you just were driving without even knowing you were up autopilot.
Yeah, there are really 3 components to that. One of them is, obviously in some conditions it was just too dangerous to run it. The car would try, but I mean, you'd lose lane markers or whatever.
It'll tell you if poor weather's detected,
yeah,
right?
yeah, you'd get that
These
alert.
are so good! Oh my god.
Oh,
And
I'm
we
not
lost
even
it.
at the back
It's
now.
over now.
But what the hell was I saying now? So obviously when it was really snowy, you couldn't use it. And then there was a couple of points where, especially coming into Florida, where I was really trying to make time. And of course, it's not really designed for playing Samurai, Taylor in the middle of traffic. So you kind of got to go manual at that point. And yeah, there's some times where the road's really windy. Like when I did the trip from San Francisco to the Gigafactory in the rented 3, the name of the interstate escapes me that takes you to Reno. But man, is that a gorgeous road. It winds through the mountains. You're basically going up the mountain pass and down the other side. And I was like...
Totally doing that in the Roadster.
Yeah, and I'd like, forget it. I'm shutting this off. I'm enjoying this car. Yeah. I mean, even on long, because the steering is so responsive and it's so stable. I mean, this thing is a highway missile. Like it's not effort. You don't have to concentrate to hold it in its lane. It's almost a shame, that autopilot's on this car. I've driven a lot of cars where I want autopilot because they're like, this car, man, it just wants to go.
The worst part about the whole experience, though, and I don't know what you guys have experienced down here, but in Toronto, they don't have enough Tesla loaners. So every time I have to take mine in for service, I always get a bloody gas car.
I've gotten a Model S every time.
I've had a Model S
It's getting
twice,
scarce now.
But
really?
all the
Every
other times
time?
have been a
Every
bloody
time.
gas
Bastard.
car.
And I've had a lot of service.
So disappointing.
Well, then good. At least you got a Model S if you're
They
going
have
in
a
that
partnership
frequently.
with Enterprise now. So I know they have a fleet of 75D Model S's with the textile seats and the all-glass roof. It was kind of...
Yeah, I saw that.
okay.
The textile
The
interior.
all-glass
glass
roof on the
roof is
Model
nice,
S is
isn't it?
really nice.
Yeah, it is really nice.
Yeah.
No wonder they canceled everything else. That's
Yeah.
a really nice roof. Yeah, I'm not one for sunroofs personally. Just
No, I'm really happy actually it doesn't have one. on the
Yeah.
Model 3.
Well, most people I know that have sunroof on their cars down here never use them. So go figure.
It's too hot.
It's actually the one thing I miss. Every car I've owned in the last, 30 years has had a sunroof, except for this one. And it's not like, because of, obviously with the panoramic.
Sure, but how many cars have you had have a glass roof on it?
None.
See, for me, the sunroof was never about opening it to get fresh air. It's always been letting the light in.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, the Model 3 or the S or any others is just a good compliment.
I think for me, it's just like, if I could, I'd take a Sawzall to the roof. What I really want is a Model 3 convertible.
My dad did that.
I've only ever owned one convertible, and everything else is like, well, it's got to have all-wheel drive, and it's got to have this much speed in it. I wind up, no, you can't have a convertible that does that, like there's very rare. So I wound up always going to some sort of sedan. But yeah, if they ever had an affordable convertible, I would switch. That's the only thing I switch for. That, by definition, is not quite my idea of affordable.
No, it's not affordable.
No, but I mean, they could build like a convertible coupe on a Model 3 platform. I know that's not in the cards short term because obviously there's so much work to do. But it would be easy for them to do it in future.
It's a little bit flaky.
Oh, it's nice.
It's very nice.
And we've lost them to the snacks again. This was inevitable.
I told you it was going to be a good idea.
Yeah, well, we're loving it. I don't know about how much the viewers enjoy this. What the hell are you people doing eating?
I think they turned off the tape like 6 minutes.
Entirely possible.
I think you mentioned too that your favorite feature of your car was the large windshield.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Falcon Wing doors, as neat as they are, I don't see it as a gimmick. It's just, it is what it is, right? If they had regular doors, I wouldn't necessarily miss it. They are functional and they do work as advertised. There are times when it's just like, all right, here we go. I got to press the button, open the door a little further, or whatever, because they're location aware. And there are times if you open the door the wrong way, whatever, and it's designed to not hit any obstacles. Right. And I've never hit any obstacles. But because it's location aware, it'll remember the setting. You come back and you're like, really? And you got to override it all the time. Those little things like that.
Yeah.
I wish they would give us more options, like to be able to disable this or that. But the windshield is killer on that car. That's just. I get in any other car and I feel claustrophobic. I think Model 3 is a close second because of the way that they pushed it back and they pushed the dash forward.
I felt that way in the Model S a little bit. It almost feels like you're driving like the Batmobile or something.
Exactly.
It's like long and low. And
it feels more
I feel like I'm in a bubble in my Model 3.
Like I love the S. It's a great car. But I mean, for me, it just...
A whole different driver feel.
The view out of the 3 is just incredible.
Yeah.
So
the X is bigger though too because it's wider. I can literally put my arm like that and I still got another 12 inches. It's really wide.
I mean,
I don't think a Model X would fit in my garage. I don't know.
It didn't fit in mine. I managed to try it out because when we were just before we left on vacation, we were switching the cars around because we took the gas car to the airport because I decided because it was so cold out. I said, you know what?
this is the first time I'm going away and it's this cold and I have the car. I'm going to charge it to 90%. I'm going to unplug it, shut it down, go away for 10 days and just see. The problem is my plan is a little bit foiled because the temperatures have gone back up through the roof. It's almost 50 degrees at home today.
Oh, wow.
So, and I mean Fahrenheit. I know I'm talking usually Celsius, but these guys, I mean, I have to adapt. Otherwise I get kicked out. Anyways.
That's just doing calculations.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, +8. Well, 10 is 50. So it's around there, 48. So I don't know. And I've resisted every... be able to go into the app to look at it and stuff. So we'll see when I get back. I'm curious to see how much range it's actually lost. Just out of curiosity and stuff. I mean, had it been -20 the whole time over that last week,
yeah, so usually more, I would say, for now, because I think in somewhere in Maine today was like 60 degrees. Yeah. Which for Maine to have 60-degree Fahrenheit temperatures in February,
we do get big swings like that in the wintertime. There's times when it gets bitterly cold for maybe a week, and then we get usually around. I don't know what it is, the first week of January, sometimes the second week of January, you get this big spike, and it gets warm again. Then it drops down to February.
But it's getting much, much worse.
Yes.
This is really, to me, one of the
Climate
scariest...
change is real.
Oh yeah, and this is the single biggest indicator to me is we're seeing swings now at home in Montreal like we've never seen in our lives.
I've never seen swings like this
where we're going from below 0 Fahrenheit into like, like the teens. It's crazy. It's like
well, there are studies being done now. I read this article today where they're forecasting what temperatures will be like 20 years from now. So we're talking just 2039, and where a city is now that has that weather, and what the weather will be like. So to have that shift, what it means. So you're going to see temperatures like here in South Florida all of a sudden creep into places, and you're going to see temperatures in the Midwest go further north. Like it's just that's what's happening. Is the tropics and all the weather is just moving further and further north. And there was recent news too in Antarctica, one of the largest ice shelves there now has a huge hole in it. That in the next 20 years or so could collapse. If it does, that's going to be cataclysmic for the Earth's shorelines and oceans and stuff. So.
Say goodbye to Florida. The water level's coming up.
While everyone runs out of gas, we'll get out on electric power.
That's funny though, because I've had discussions, arguments, whatever you want to call them online. They're like, well, if the power goes out, you guys can't charge your cars, and I'm like,
you can't pump gas.
You can't pump gas either, dude. And they all,
I can tell you anecdotally, like I've run the Miami Marathon a couple of years, and it's basically right now it would be in the 40s.
Yeah.
Today it's 90 degrees here, so
yeah. It's been pretty tough. I mean, I'm a runner like you are, and it's been. I mean, there are days where like our training season in Florida is getting shorter and shorter and shorter, where temperatures are comfortable for people to run. Yeah. But I remember I mentioned the power story when we had here in Florida, we had Hurricane Irma. Was it 2 years ago? Matthew was last year, right? Yeah. Irma was 2 years ago. Yeah. And we had because now it's 2019. So we had the storm come through, and most of the state had no power. Well, Tesla had those supercharging stations up and running within a day. Yeah. So while some, like you see a gas station like right around the corner, like still shut down, but people were like charging their cars like nothing ever happened. So they're pretty good about that.
Yeah. You guys gotta make them free for people that were either
the people that had the software lock batteries.
Yeah, they opened up the software locks.
And then they gave, what was it, free supercharging?
Free supercharging, yeah. I still had the gas car back then, and I remember there was no gas. It was a complete panic. If I had my Tesla then, I'd just charge in the garage.
And that's the thing, like, it's one of those things that you think about with Florida, like we're a panhandle state, so you're in a peninsula, and so people are trying to get out. There's only one way to go if you live anywhere, it's north.
It's up. North.
So when you have a storm basically coming up from the rear, as they say, and all you're doing is just, it's all going north, then what do you do?
You just lost some video.
Oh, it's your GoPro just went out. The GoPro just went out. We're losing cameras as we go.
We're running out of memory card space.
In our case, it's mostly batteries. Is there anything else we want to chit-chat about? Or
I wanted to ask you about the Model X, as you were saying about functionality and stuff. How about, does it call too much attention when you open the doors in public, like the wing doors?
Yeah, that's a common question. Yes and no. It depends on where you are. Where I live, there's a fair amount of concentration of Teslas. Not typically, but it depends where you go. I mean, Toronto, there's so many, everybody knows what they look like. But if I was to go out in the boonies or somewhere and I open up the doors in a parking lot, you get looky-loos.
I'd say the frunk does it.
Yeah.
You walk out of the supermarket and pop the frunk, and people are like,
"What's that guy doing?"
His engine's in there. How's he going to do that?
Yeah, my favorite story was a while back was some woman was changing her baby's diaper in the frunk. Yeah, and someone came running over, freaked out, like wanted to tell the cops that like this woman's got her baby on the engine.
Well, a number of years ago, some people got stopped. I mean, the cops followed them all the way to their house because they had the rear-facing seats in the Model S. Remember that?
That's happened a few times that people like neighbors have called because they're putting their children in the trunk. You know, like.
But back in the 80s, we had station wagons, and that was never an issue. But
I think it's been so long since we've had that people are no longer.
Oh, your battery's in the back. No, there's a trunk in the back.
Yeah.
Where are your batteries then? Under the car. Like under the car? Like under the car. Like it's.
And where's the motor?
Right.
I love that one.
You shouldn't be using your laptop on the dash, mister. That's the car.
I once had a Florida Highway Patrol officer. He's passed by me in the HOV lane, and he looked over and saw me because my cars aren't tinted yet. And he looked over and he goes, "Just nods his head."
Nice.
I was like, "All right, that's cool."
Yeah, Bev and I were riding the bikes around the neighborhood, and there was a silver Model 3 came up to the stop sign. I gave him the thumbs up, and he just kind of looked at me like, "Who the hell are you?" I'm like, "I just wanted to give you a thumbs up, dude. Nice car."
Yeah, because I suppose
some people are just like they don't care. But
well, yeah, we were joking around while we were waiting for everyone to show up. We've got 4 Midnight Silver Model 3s.
Well, I knew I found the right house when I found like 17 Model 3s out front.
And Rafael and I were standing outside.
Here I am
the
driving
Model
the
3
big
came
shaggin'
flying
wagon.
down the street. And we're like, "No, we're here. It was somebody else's car." They're just Midnight Silver Model 3s are everywhere.
It's
I was side by side with a white one coming in.
Yeah,
Well, you were a unicorn for a while.
I was a unicorn for a while, yeah.
in this area,
Yeah.
Low VIN.
Midnight Silver is definitely the #1 color on the Model 3. Absolutely, hands down.
Well, it's about
Personally,
20% of production, I think.
And personally, I think Midnight Silver, that particular color looks best on the Model 3. I don't like it on the S or the X. That's my opinion. Colors are very subjective.
We do have a Midnight Silver Model S in the garage here, so gotta keep it down.
Okay. Hey, I said it's my opinion. It's not yours. It's not his. It's
If
just
you
mine.
follow the podcast, we once had a show
you know I
called
like-
Trevor
It was wrong. Yes, exactly.
I'm wrong. Yeah. Everybody knows I like white. That's just me.
Yeah.
I would fit in Florida.
White
real
on
well.
white. Yeah. So what are you guys going to plan? We're all going to Cape Canaveral this weekend, but what do you guys from the north have planned the rest of your week while you're down?
Tomorrow there's a chance we may go down to Miami. We have some friends of ours that moved to Toronto, and he opened up a comic book store.
Nice.
So we dropped in on them last year. So
We lost my camera.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll keep
We
this
got one
going.
left.
So we may drop in and say hi to them. Other than that, not much else for the rest of the week until Saturday. And then we fly home late Sunday night at about 11 p.m. So
There you
still
go.
Still got a ways. And Ian, you're taking off from KFC with Brad on Saturday.
Correct. Yeah, I'm going to bum around. I might do another day or two at the beach just while I can. And I might actually take a little solo run out to the Keys. I've never been.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be a nice thing to do.
Well, make sure you charge your marathon before you go any further.
Yes. Yeah, I've been told. I'll
There
definitely do
ain't
that.
nothing after that.
No, exactly.
Now, personally, as a Floridian, I'll go to Key West if there's a plane going there or if a cruise ship docks there, but I will never drive to Key West.
That's a good drive.
It's a long haul.
It's
a lot
a
of
long
people
drive.
don't realize how long of it. What is
Well,
it,
because
160
it's all
miles?
like 40-mile-an-hour roads, right?
I mean,
It's
I
all
got like
that-
I
yeah,
got like
that's
upper Keys.
I've done
I
many
don't know.
times.
Yeah.
I like it. It reminds me of the Caribbean.
Yeah. It is nice, but it's a what is it, about 160 miles or something?
Oh,
so,
might,
yeah.
might be more than that.
Might be more.
See, that's irrelevant to me because I was doing that like every 2 hours for 2 days.
I know.
160 miles, that's nothing. I can do
Well,
that.
I drove when I lived in San Francisco in 2015 and moved back to Florida. I was able to drive the 3,300 and some odd miles in like 3 days.
Yeah,
So
you said
same,
that.
I just kept driving.
Yeah,
Kept
yeah.
driving. Now's at the gas car.
You guys are all. I drive to Disney World. That's like as far as I go, and then I drive back.
Is that seriously the farthest you've taken your car?
That is the furthest my Tesla's gone. Yeah.
Really?
You know,
Fascinating.
after the 6,000 miles going to California,
6,000 miles.
The other day, we just decided we wanted to go see someone, and we went to Orlando and came back the same day. I mean, it's not.
I'm looking forward to making that trip. I haven't done it yet.
Bev and I go for ice cream. We don't think twice about doing a 40-kilometer trip there and back to just get ice
Oh,
cream.
I'll get in my car and drive around the neighborhood for no reason.
Speaking of ice cream,
All do
just
that.
sit in my car and do
Everyone who I've talked to
If
who
you-
owns this car does that. It's a disease.
if
Yeah.
you live in South Florida, and that camera's not working. Like if you live in South Florida, if you know about Kilwins, which is great for fudge ice cream stuff.
What?
don't.
Just the
This
waffle
guy
smell.
right here
I have to do that before I leave. We
Loves.
have to do that.
loves
Toasted coconut toasted coconut at Kilwin's.
There's a Kilwin's right down the street from here.
Is there? What time are they open?
I don't know if I should have told you that. Yeah.
Well,
They might be
It's
closed,
almost
I
like
don't know.
coffee,
Okay.
right? Eating that stuff.
They're probably closed.
Yeah, they're probably
closed.
No, we definitely have to hit a Kilwin's.
But in any event, so I introduced him to Jackson's, which is now 63 years here in South Florida. So I introduced him to, well, we had dinner last year, a couple of us had dinner last year.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's go for something for dessert. I'm like, well, I know where we're going to go. We're in Hollywood, Florida. We decided to go to Jackson's in Dania Beach. So he had never been there before, and which is great when you're taking someone who's like Canadian to a very Americana sort of establishment, like over the top Americana.
Well, I do have to admit, the interior of that place reminds me of my old bedroom of my dad's house.
Right.
Because that's where he keeps all of his memorabilia.
It actually still looks the same. I've seen photos.
Yeah, actually, I did a video, so go back through the.
Yeah, that was a good video.
You'll see.
So anyway, so we went to Jackson's, and he was hooked. So the fact that you guys came down again this year and went 2 nights in a row, so great.
Yeah. Well, actually, we were going to hit Dairy Bell because we had a hankering for soft ice cream.
Right.
We were going to go to Dairy Bell, but they're closed on Mondays.
Carvel.
Carvel.
Yeah, we can also get great poutine at Dairy Bell.
Oh, Dairy Bell. Yeah. If you,
I haven't
it's
been
run
there
by
yet.
some Quebecers, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you want poutine, we got to go and hit that place up. Well,
Yeah,
'cause you haven't had it yet.
I work right near there, so
Well, we're
I'm in.
going to hit it up this weekend.
Yeah, because Miami has a
You
little
had it?
Havana.
Not yet.
All right, we got
Yeah.
2 poutine virgins here.
We,
Because
we
you've
gotta
had it.
go.
I've had it before.
All right.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
All right.
It is.
So,
I will say, the guys are in poutine's delicious.
It's a heart attack in a bowl, but it's
Pretty much what it is.
good.
Yeah.
I've had the ketchup
Exactly.
chips. I need to have the
It's
poutine.
cheese curds,
Yes.
it's French
Yeah,
fries.
that- you have to complete the
gravy,
experience now,
good
yes.
Man,
Yeah.
it's delicious.
The key to poutine, of course, now this is going down a rat hole for sure, but the key to poutine is...
I think we've reached that point in the
is
show a long
super
time ago.
Yeah, super fresh cheese curds.
Super fresh cheese curds. You know when
Yes.
you put them in your mouth and they're squeaky? That's when you know. And the fries matter too. The gravy
Avoid
is a close
squeaky
third.
cheese curds.
But-
I've stored that in memory now.
Yeah.
That's why you can't eat it at night when it's quiet. Someone's going to know.
Somebody's eating my cheese curds!
Yeah.
What do we...
Park down the farm!
So we got... We got some gum? I brought some
We
gum.
do. So yes, we have to,
You guys want some gum?
yeah,
This is gum.
the special Canadian gum.
Beverly already ate 2 pieces.
What the hell?
Bev? All right, have a piece of gum.
Yeah.
What flavor are we working with here?
Oh, I
Is
don't
it grape?
It's kind of
Is it
hard to
purple? It's
describe.
purple flavor.
It's
Thrills.
purple. Yes,
Try it.
it's called
10 pieces of
Thrills.
gum.
Yeah.
That's not a guy.
It's made by Tootsie Roll Canada.
Yeah,
want a piece?
okay, I'm good.
This is a little bit of a unique taste.
Yes, it is.
Try it.
I might be chewing. This might be soap. I don't know. This tastes like soap a little bit.
Hey, you know what? I bet this mint candy tastes really good right about now.
You want me to
I
try
do
it?
not understand what the attraction is, but we
See what
we
you
ate
think. This
packages
is-
and packages of this stuff as a kid, and I don't really know why we did.
So it's called Thrills.
Actually, it
Are you
tastes like,
thrilled?
it's mouthwash. That's what it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you thrilled?
Yeah.
It's mouthwash.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
It's okay. You're okay. You can spit it out if you don't like it.
You got to try new things. So
So for those of you who don't know, it's Thrills. It's only available in Canada. It's soap flavored gum.
That's right.
says so right on the
Because
back.
clearly that was
So you-
something that was missing in the marketplace. Yes.
You can spit it out if you don't like it. I don't like it. It's an acquired taste.
Admit it or not.
It's like going to
Yeah, admit
Australia
it
and
not.
eating Vegemite. You know? Oh God, that stuff is horrible.
Oh, so horrible.
Oh, go ahead.
Damn. Interesting taste.
I'll take this. I'll
Yeah,
move it
yeah,
over
yeah,
here.
straight
There you
it
go.
up.
Is
It's-
something wrong if I kind of like it? I don't know.
No,
Well,
no,
no,
no.
that's-
I think you're wrong. If
I think
you
it's
do
an
like
acquired
it.
taste.
Yeah.
Bev loves this stuff.
I think after eating all this stuff and then combining that flavor is kind of weird.
That's what I'm saying. I kind of like it. I don't know. Something's wrong with it.
I'm gonna like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. It's a mildly perverse snacking pleasure. Yes.
It's an acquired taste, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It says it still tastes like soap.
It does.
Toujours la
I like how
même,
it still tastes like soap.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
toujours la même gomme savon.
Yeah.
Always the same soapy gum.
What is art? You know, since we're
Lever
doing this video,
2000, Irish Spring. I couldn't really tell which one it was more like.
Wow. You're pegging it down to the exact type. That's impressive.
Maybe Dial. I don't know.
Dial. Yeah,
I
I'd
feel-
go with Dial. It's more a Dial.
I feel like we made this
I like Dove.
video saying it's going to be NSFW. We really haven't done
I
that
gotta see
yet.
this. I gotta see this.
What is your favorite curse word? It could be French, but what's your favorite curse word?
Oh, in French, they're the best because you can
Yeah.
conjugate them.
You can. Yeah.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, Quebecers, you can tune out. But in Quebec, all of the swear words are all religious.
Yes, correct.
Religious words. So you have esti, calice, tabarnak. Right?
You
And
want to
can
hear?
conjugate them.
Yes.
Esti, calice.
I only really use, it's rare I use a French swear word because, of course, my dearest Brigitte being French, when you do that, she looks very alarmed. because I don't swear.
Depends on the person.
It does, exactly. So, but she's very kind of like, she'll use English swear words all the time because it's the reverse. in French, they're just kind of cool. They don't carry a lot of weight. But a French swear word, ooh, yeah, that means I'm serious, obviously. But yeah, where I get crazy with the French swear words is my friend Fred. Hey, Freddie, if you're watching, my friend Fred from San Francisco, who I always stay with when I visit Fremont.
All right, Fred, thanks for the flight in San Francisco.
But we speak sort of, Fred is also an expat Quebecer living in San Francisco, so we speak this sort of what we call franglais. It's half English, half French.
I do that all the time.
And yeah,
like Spanglish. Yeah.
It's very much the same phenomenon, exactly, you know what it is. So we love to slip in the odd swear words, and where we conjugate the verb in an English phrase. So it's like, Fred, where do you think we should put this thing in your garage? Like, I always have to do some sort of work when I go to Fred's house. It's just a thing. Like, we work on project stuff in his house. So it's like, oh, let's go crisser on the mur. Because in French you would say, on va le crisser sur le mur. Like, if you're going to nail something to it, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love that one. It's like, on va le crisser là. That's it. Exactly. And of course, a proper Quebecer at this point would be horrified because they're like, oh my God, you can't say that.
Well, that's not the worst. I think Tabarnak is the worst.
It is. That's exactly.
Like that's the last resort.
Yeah, that one's a little too intense, but crisser is fun. You can use it anywhere. Ouais, crisser là-bas, là, c'est correct.
I'll start to use it now.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I thought you were joking, and I did not see the package when I said it tastes like soap.
Yeah.
And it literally does say it still tastes like soap.
Oh, yes.
It still tastes like soap.
That is a feature and not a bug.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
I wasn't too sure. Bev suggested it. It didn't even cross my mind because I hate this stuff. But it's like right off the top.
Well, sure ate two pieces.
That surprised me.
Yeah, what's your favorite curse word?
I try not to curse, actually.
I mean, it could be like a Harry Potter curse for all you know.
I got one for you. Gas hole.
Gas hole.
That's my favorite one, though. Yeah,
okay, that's good. There we go.
Works for me.
It's family friendly still, but
I tend to use the F word.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you can use it in so many different ways.
It is the most versatile curse word there is.
George Carlin.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes. One of my
the 7 words. Yes.
So I will cuss here a little bit. So one of my favorite phrases is for shits and giggles, and I used to kind of combine it. I say it for shiggles.
Ooh.
For shizzle.
Yeah. For shiggles.
Sound like Snoop Dogg.
Well, because there was a point like I'd be around younger people and I don't want to say shits and giggles in front of kids, so they're like, oh, just for shiggles, and someone's like, well, that sounds cute though. Like, yeah, for shiggles. Perfect. So, but no, I will say the F word is definitely one of my favorite ones. I'm trying to keep it clean for the channel.
Because you can use it to...
it's powerful.
Yeah, so to say something
thought-provoking.
Nice, yeah. Or to say something really, really nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's by far the most flexible. There's a million...
We are literally doing the George Carlin skit where he tells you why it's the perfect word.
Yes, you're right.
The perfect word.
It is.
Go find it.
Every word in a sentence.
It could be the only word in a sentence that's 8 words long, and it's still a right sentence. You've got your conjugate, you got your verb, you got your noun, you got your adjective. It's perfect. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very flexible. It's very flexible.
It's like the sentence buffalo, 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 buffalo. Like it's an actual sentence. So yeah. It's true.
I'll take that one on faith.
All right. I've never heard that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We'll play it after the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck's a great word.
And there, it's a wrap.
And that's the name of the show.
Hey!
That's the name of the show.
Well, if topical, I discovered today that there's a few sites that ran it, but that company American AF, which is
Yeah.
We all know what AF stands for, right?
And Friends?
Yes,
Abercrombie and
American
Fitch,
Friends.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I thought, yeah.
But they did that great work, Mad Musk, with Elon and the Electric Interceptor on Mars. And I definitely had to order one of those. I thought that was fantastic. I just love the name of the company though.
Who do you think is going to get to Mars
fantastic.
first?
Who? Oh,
Mars?
Definitely.
Oh,
Without,
SpaceX.
it's not even a question. It's going to be
SpaceX?
SpaceX.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against NASA. I think it's great that both companies or both organizations are going. But yeah. But it's just the speed with which they do stuff. It's just a take no prisoners attitude, And NASA, I mean, has an incredible number of talented people, but they have this, sort of regimented governmental approach to things where it has to be, And I think that's where a lot of the friction has been. Like Elon has expressed, a little bit of sadness because the speed they move at seems to ruffle some feathers of the old school at NASA.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what's going to get them there first. There's no question.
I think part of it is because in their history, and especially because we just had the anniversary of Challenger back in January, there's been enough mishaps in NASA's history that they almost have to be overly cautious moving
Agreed.
forward.
Sure.
But I will say though, as a person who grew up seeing shuttle go, I know you said you saw the first shuttle launch from home. But for me, the biggest thing that's been hurtful is to see the space race happen in the time of the Cold War in the 60s. We get to the moon, and then after Apollo sort of ceased, that's it. The desire to go back to that, and it makes me wonder if we had continued trying to colonize the moon and explore more of the moon, could we have already then had a station on the surface of the moon that would have already taken us to Mars by now? Versus having to basically start from scratch again, now trying to build that.
I do believe that.
Well, the original timelines were there. I mean, this was all plotted out. They were talking moon base, late 70s, early 80s, you know, and Mars.
No, not moon.
You know, and that, a lot of the plans had that as the jumping off point for Mars.
Moon and Zappa? Anyway,
But yeah, they should have been in Mars, you know, late 80s, early 90s at the latest. You know,
but my hope is that my generation, whatever, you know, however long it lasts, are able to have Mars be its moon.
Yeah.
For what it was in the 60s. Like that was, I mean, when we finally went to the moon, the world watched.
Oh yeah.
You know, for Apollo 11.
Yeah.
And, you know, and if, of course, if you've seen, we're historical buffs, like if you've seen Apollo 13, we know by that point it sort of wavered, like people were kind of done with it already. Because like, all right, we've been there, what else is there to see? But every mission has its own challenges, every mission has its own thing, and SpaceX proves that time and again that every mission is unique. Yeah. But I would be remiss if I didn't think that before my time is gone from this Earth, that we have already gone to Mars, and every time it's like, because that's 9 months to get there. You know, that's a pregnancy, and that's just, you know, you start thinking about it like it's incredible. Yeah. So yeah.
The way I look at SpaceX is that it reminds me very much of NASA of the 60s. You know, just get it done type of attitude without a lot of overhead and trying to, you know. That's why I find it very exciting to watch them again, because as great as NASA's technology has been over the years, because of budget cuts by Congress and stuff, it's just they've become very moribund. You know, in their attitude. It's like, okay, well, take, you know, the Constellation program, for example. I mean, God, I mean, how many times have they had, you know, oh yeah, they launched one capsule, and it's like you never hear from it again, or they did the one launch, you know, and then they changed their mind 5 times and stuff, and that's just, you know, when you get these changes of office and stuff, and they have different priorities, and everything's governed by, you know, congressional money, and now you have SpaceX, which is a private company, and they pay the bills by launching commercial satellites, and because, let's face it, the boosters are going to be thrown away anyways. Why not use that as a test bed for the technology? So they've been able to reiterate very quickly. And stuff. So in a lot of ways, NASA, you know, or my like of the whole space program in general, because I grew up around the time of the moon landing and stuff, is that it's really shaped my career. Because at the age of 4, I wanted to be an astronaut because I wanted to push the buttons. I wanted to be in the space capsule. And we used to have a space capsule at the Ottawa Museum for years and years. I think it was Apollo 4 that was on display there, the actual capsule.
The boilerplate one, the test one.
And I used to go there for hours and hours and hours and just stare at that thing, you know, wanting to be inside of it. And eventually I just got into computers by natural because you're pushing buttons, right? So that's basically the business I ended up in. So the space program is really... Even though I do the Tesla thing and stuff, I very much watch the space program with great enthusiasm.
Yeah, I grew up watching it all the time, and you know, same thing, I want to be an astronaut, and my physical debilitations as a kid kept me from ever taking that kind of course. But I watch with bated breath every time there's a launch. Like I don't care if there was launching an unmanned mission or what.
Miss a SpaceX.
But what I think is great about SpaceX and Tesla in terms of their parallel, of course, Elon and everything else behind that, but they're both doing something for the first time in human history. They're doing things that are pushing the envelope and saying, okay, we're going to make a mistake, but probably they're going to make mistakes. Yeah. But when people critique them, I go, but what do you want? There's no copy for them to follow. They're writing the script as they go. And, you know, and for them to do what they've been doing with their space program, I think it's for a lot of folks reinvigorated the energy of, that's the next thing we have to do. Like, we're looking at, Tesla's trying to save us here on our planet. SpaceX is showing us, but there's the world beyond that. And those two things can coexist. And I think it's great that they're able to do that. So, you know, now raising kids who can have the same passion for Mars as your generation did.
And it isn't just that. I mean, when you talk about how incredible Apollo was, there's a few reasons. Obviously, there's the, you know, just the incredible fact, oh my God, we put a man on the moon. That's the most obvious one. The second one is there's the great technology spin-off, which is, I think, the most underappreciated part of a program like that is a huge amount. Like everybody's like, oh my God, we blew $25 billion in the 1960s on this. You know, what did we get out of it? Whew, you have no idea. But the third one, and I think Elon touches on this, is you need something that sparks people's imagination.
Yeah.
Like something like to give you drive, to give you goals, to say, wow, that can be done, or I want to do that. It pushes people. Like in the US, I don't think there was ever a burst of people wanting to go into science programs and take that direction with their career. I mean, there's this incredible flood of talent that went into all these different areas that were inspired by that. You know, like that's incalculable what that does, what it motivates kids to, like, I can achieve, I can go to the next level of education, you know, I can do something greater, bigger, whatever. Things are possible. It just shows that. You know, I think as human beings we need that, because otherwise we get stuck in this rut. You know, we tend to be very...
We don't like change, that's for sure.
No, exactly. You know, and you need something to force you out of the bubble. And I don't think anything else does that. Like
well, Neil deGrasse Tyson had said on an episode of Real Time with Bill Maher that once that drive to go to the moon ended, the idea of tomorrow stopped.
Yeah.
You know, the community of tomorrow, the people of tomorrow, the transportation, like all that sort of just died.
Talking to my mic.
We got to cut the show off because my card is full.
No.
All right then.
Yeah.
Here you go.
All right.
Nice nipples.
And we're back.
That's still recording.
Oh, that's still recording there, so we got the other stuff. All right.
Everybody gather around.
Well, all right, guys.
We're moving close.
Well,
Tight shot.
Yeah, tight shot. Well, I want to say thanks for everybody for coming out. This has been one we've been looking forward to doing for quite some time, despite some technical issues, which we'll try and fix in post anyways.
Including a power outage.
Yeah, well, that was
exciting.
That was exciting. Yeah.
Totally planned too, like all this stuff. Yeah.
Anyhow, thanks for coming out, guys, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Big thanks to our sponsors, Avanex, Dulaban Insurance, of course, and Fine Labs. Check out those products. And big thanks to the Patreon guys, because they make it all happen. If you want to check out, you can check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Model 3 Owners Club. Don't forget to check out the forum. And guys, give a shout out, right? So it's TesLatino on YouTube. Make sure you follow them there. Of course, on Twitter as well, same thing. This is EC Fix on Twitter. That's the best place to find him. Well, you know where I am. And then you got Ian over here, Ian Pavelko, or just search for Mad Hungarian on the forum. And then Mr. Santoni here, it's TesLatino. I got to get that straight. Why always TesLatino.
The new license plate on the way.
Yes,
it's
right.
going. Your plate, it's going to look awesome.
They said 3 more.
And also search for Mad Hungarian on Teespring, TeeSpring.com.
Yeah,
you can get shirts like this one.
Yeah, link will be in the video description to grab his t-shirts and his mugs and stuff. So,
And the money from that helps to fund this.
yes.
Shout out to Plug in America.
Just saying.
Because I'm plugging in America. So
That's
I
right.
wear it.
For free.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll call it a night because I think we've had our sugar fix.
I think so.
I don't know what we're going to do with that stuff. Oh, no.
And to all you watching, if you actually made it to the end of this show, props to you. I'm impressed.
Cheers, everybody.